Hi, I'm Samarth, and today's lesson will be a brief one on factorizing quadratics. So just as an overview, the highest power of x in a quadratic equation is x squared. So the highest power you'll find in any quadratic equation is always going to be x squared. So that's the first term of the equation. And a quadratic expression can be factorized into two brackets of the form x plus a, x plus b, where a and b can be any term. It could be positive, negative, or it could also be zero. And in order to find a and b, we can use a product and sum method, and this is also known as splitting the middle term. So, and this method consists of us finding two numbers that add up to make the middle term of the quadratic, and they also multiply to make the final term. So that's one of the methods of factorizing a quadratic. But note that this method only works if you have, if the number in front of x squared is 1. If it's greater than 1, this method does not work. So make a note of that. Okay, so as an example, we have x squared plus 7x plus 10, and we need to factorize this. So the middle term of this quadratic is 7x, and the final term is 10. So as per the method, we need to find two numbers that add up to make 7 and multiply to make 10. So because they need to multiply to make the final term, and this is 10 in this case, what we can do to help is list out the factors of 10, and then we can see if any of those factors add up to make 7. So if we list out the factors of 10, you have 1, 2, 5, and 10. So from this, we can see that 2 and 5 obviously multiply to make 10, and on top of that, they also add to make 7, because 5 plus 2 is 7. So we found the two numbers that we need. So now we can split the middle term effectively. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 10. So now we've split the middle term, so now we can effectively factorize this equation. So you have to now split this into two different parts. You have this part and you have this part. So for the first part, we can see that x is common in both, so we can take out x, and in the brackets we have x times x to make x squared, so this x, and we also have 2 as the next one, because x times 2 makes 2x. So that's the first bit done. Then we have the plus, so plus, and in these two terms we can see that x is not common because there's no x with a 10, so it has to be a number, and we can see it has to be 5 because 5 goes into this one once and goes to this one twice. So it would be 5 taken out in brackets, x in the brackets, and then we have 2 because 5 times 2 is 10. And we can confirm this works because these two are the same, and they always have to be the same when you're factorizing. So what we're left with now is x plus 2 and x plus, so x plus 2 we took as these, and then once we're done with those, what's left is x plus 5 here. So x plus 5. So there we have it as a factorized form. So when you factorize x squared plus 7x plus 10, you get x plus 2, x plus 5. So effectively we can say that a equals 2 and b equals 5. So this this example factorized. Now, if we had a negative number as one of the terms, so for example, if we had x squared minus 12y, x, plus 11, then this will be different because we can see this is a negative number. So here we would have to have a negative and a positive. Sorry, two negative numbers to add to make this and multiply to make this. So we can see that if we list out the factors of 11, as we did last time, we have 1 and 11, because 11 is a prime number. So we have 1 and 11, and then because this is positive, obviously we need two negative numbers, and we know that negative times negative equals positive. So immediately we can switch these into negative numbers. So we get minus 1 and minus 11. And we can check this works because minus 1 minus 11 gets you minus 12. And minus 1 times minus 11 gets you 11. So now we can use those to split the middle term. So we have x squared minus x minus 11x plus 11. So now we split the middle term, and now what we need to do is we need to factorize as we did last time, split it into two sections, and now we can factorize. So we have x outside, x times x gets you x squared, and then we have x, and so it's just 1 because x times 1, so it has to be minus 1 this time because there's a negative. So x times minus 1 gets you minus x. And then this time we have a minus here, so it's a minus. And then from this we can see 11 is common in both of these terms. So we have 11 outside. And inside we have x, 11, minus 11 times x gets you minus 11x, but for the first bit. And then we need to be careful here because this is a plus. And on the outside we have a minus. So remember, minus times minus gets you a plus. So instead of, it wouldn't be 11 times 1, it would be minus 11 times minus 1 to get the positive 11. So you have to have a minus 1 inside the bracket. So now we can see these two are the same. So now we can immediately say that x minus 1 is a factor. And what we have remaining is x minus 11. So that's the other factor. So effectively in this case, a equals minus 1 because it's negative, and b equals minus 11. So that was two different examples of splitting the middle term, but this is just one way of factorizing a quadratic. It depends on the question. So you could have a difference of two squares, or you could have an example where the number in front of the x squared is not 1. It could be anything 2, 3, 4. So in that case, you'd have to use a different method because this one would not work. So we would have to we can cover that in more detail next time we have a lesson. So I hope you understood what we covered today, and thank you very much.